The instant punk bands aren't all male. Young women rehearsing in their dining room here are the idle idols, and like a lot of punk bands, most of the idols only started learning to play after they decided to form a band. The idols are sort of like an Auckland version of the Rock Follies. They take their music seriously, they're anxious about doing well. And what they currently lack in musical finesse, they make up for with a considerable flair for publicity. They thought it would be nice to do this interview in bed.
It was the Reptiles that started it off for me, really.
Yeah, I got interested through the Reptiles.
Well, it's sort of, you know, they did it and
it seemed so easy that I thought, well, we'll form a group of our own.
I'd never played it before though. You know,
It
it was
seems
just
so easy.
well, the way they did it seems so basic. We learned our instruments from scratch and we're quite proud of ourselves and stuff.
So you
None of
actually
us
decided to form a group, and
Before we
then you
knew
set
any
about learning to play.
instruments.
No, Shona's experience.
Yeah,
we were
she's
lucky
young
to get
gun.
Shona.
but I was self-taught.
I think we're excellent for how long we've been playing. But,
And good intention. But we've got problems like no transport, no practice room.
No room.
We have to just practice away at home, not too late because of the neighbours. And
very soft.
we can't
So
set up
nice.
permanently anywhere.
Well, what sort of ambitions do you have for the band?
We're the greatest.
I don't
do our own
know, to be
stuff.
fun, you know, now.
Auckland
you know.
female group.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I only do
I
it because I
appreciate
enjoy
new,
it.
I appreciate new bands coming onto the scene, so I expect everyone else to appreciate us.
So, after only weeks of playing, the Idols are on a bus to the big time in Wellington. Back in a moment with the Idols and others, capital.
I was walking along with a group of people outside a hotel, and this person that looked as if they were really interested in disco came rushing up and accused us of being punks, and we sort of thought he must have been joking, and I said, "Oh, you're a disco freak, are you?" And he just just wasn't humorous about it at all. And then he went back to his car and we all jumped into our car. And then we noticed that he was advancing with this great big huge iron bar, and so we just tried to, he banged the back of the car as somebody was getting in and he was sort of coming up. It was just really, really unpleasant.
But he was probably just as a punk, just for an excuse to be aggressive towards you. I mean, I've been threatened and belted up before, but only years before punk hit New Zealand, only because I was different.
Any extreme movement in society is generally misunderstood, and misunderstanding usually expresses itself in a social context in a violent form, and naturally the people who identify with this extreme form of expression, and it is extreme to a certain extent, come in for abuse, and that sometimes manifests itself in a violent way.
You find that girls are more aggressive towards you as punks than
Very
men?
catty and
Us,
smart.
and sort of
I don't
quite
know.
heavy.
Oh, I know.
Give us some examples.
Well, in pubs, for instance, in the toilets, they just sort of, I don't know, really smart. Walk down the street. I walked down the street on Friday, and all down the street, hordes of people kept coming down, and girls kept trying to kick, trip me up, kick me.
Really?
Yeah, and I walked down with Mark. Mark lives down the corner, and walking so on, and they just had sort of all these crowds of people follow us, and then sort of go away and then follow us and go away. Just sort of.
Of course, you get a fairly ignorant section of society who will resort to violence to express their incomprehension of what is actually developing.
Meanwhile, the Idol Idols have made it on stage, from total obscurity to the Wellington Town Hall in just a few weeks. Were you happy about it?
I was disgusted with it. It's terrible.
Why?
Well, the guitar was up too loud and the bass was down far too low, and I just couldn't hear the rhythm. So everything just up.
Just how important to you was this concert?
But I wasn't terribly nervous about it. It wasn't. I suppose it was. It was our biggest concert we've ever done.